Botheration, my phone just suddenly cut off while I was in the middle of that. I wasn't planning on making a part 1 and 2 about this, but um, and if I had more video editing skills, I know I could combine these videos, but I don't, and I don't have the interest or inclination right now to learn how to do that. Anyway, now I have to remember where I was. Okay, I was talking about generally how meds made my life so much better, and my realization, because of everything going on in my increased anxiety, that for at least the time being, it's probably helpful to actually increase my meds. So that's what I'm trying right now, under the supervision of my psychiatrist. Um, so if you decide to see a counselor, I might recommend that you actually search out a couple different counselors, and make introductory appointments with a few people and see which one you like best. So I would say maybe write out some of your main issues and talk about those with each one of them and see which person you feel the most comfortable with. And you can let them know ahead of time that you're kind of just checking around. And, you know, counselors, they totally understand that. Now, I have seen some counselors in the past that I stuck with too long, that just were not working for me. And I was petrified with my personal people-pleasing mentality. I didn't want them to feel rejected. But I realized most counselors actually have a much kind of healthier and self-confident image inside, uh, and they have healthy boundaries, and that my choosing a different counselor isn't actually going to ruin their life. Maybe that's exaggerating a bit, but um, that's what I worried about a lot. So I've had some counselors that were helpful and some counselors that weren't, and it was good when I stopped seeing them and changed to somebody else. So I say, to start off right, just interview a couple people. You can do research ahead of time to kind of, figure out if their values kind of line up with yours. Um, your friends or other people might have recommendations about great counselors, but the person that is a great counselor for your friend might not be a good fit for you. So that's why I'm suggesting trying some. I had that experience of somebody recommending the most amazing counselor a number of years ago, and I met with her, and I was like, oh no, not for me. Our personalities just didn't gel. And you know what? When I talked to her honestly about that, she was totally fine with it, and she supported my, seeking out to find somebody better. So don't be uh, worried about your counselor's feelings if you're that kind of person like I was. Um, if you are thinking about, going a medication route, I mean, I really think it's important to do counseling plus medication. But as I said before, find a psychiatrist if you're wanting to do medication. And a lot of times, at least I found, psychiatrists' office, mental health offices can be booked a way ahead. So you might not be able to get an appointment for 2 months out. So I suggest, if you can head off, like if you feel like you're not going places that are so great, um, just get an appointment for 2 months from now, and you can always cancel it, and then somebody else will get your spot, and they'll be happy about that. But it's no fun to be in the middle of a crisis and you're calling around and there's nobody to help you, because they're all completely booked. So um, I had that experience. um, Not fun at all. But once again, especially since there's often long waiting periods, why don't you go ahead and make appointments 2 months from now at 3 or 4 different psychiatrists' offices to see which one you like best, because that can be something too. Finally, I really want to suggest that for an appointment either with a psychiatrist or a counselor or with a doctor, that a couple of days ahead of time at least, just start thinking about that appointment and what you really want to talk about. I would say, make a list of your personal concerns and go in there and hand them that list so they can read through it. I have found this to be huge with meeting with doctors. So especially with, like, primary care physicians are, they're busy, and, often appointments can feel rushed. So it has really helped me if I have several concerns to kind of list them. And this is the thing I'm most concerned about today. Here's some other things. And to just hand that to them when they walk in. It saves a lot of time, and then they can, at once, they know kind of all the things that you're struggling with, and they might be able to say, actually, I think we really should, I know this is low on your list, but I think we should investigate that. And, you make sure that you're actually getting the top things. The other thing is, I don't know about you, but often when I get into an appointment, especially if it's with a new person that I don't know well, I kind of start to clam up and I feel anxious and insecure about telling them all the things that I need to tell them. That's very much happened to me in the past with more, at the beginning talking about my mental issues. As you can tell now, I don't have so much trouble with that, but I was ashamed to talk about them, and so often appointments I would walk in and then I would walk out and not actually, I chickened out. I didn't tell them. So I find having that list keeps me honest. I can think about it ahead of time, what I know that I really need to talk to the doctor about, and then I can't really chicken out. It also kind of saves me from my fear of just looking like a hypochondriac with a million problems to not be taken seriously. I definitely have had that feeling at various visits of, you know, this person is just so worried all the time, and I do legitimately have medical anxiety, of just I've had that feeling of not being taken seriously. But I can write well. I can write very professionally, and I often feel much more confident presenting a whole list of issues in written form rather than, ticking them off one by one vocally. Okay, I hope this has given you a few helpful things to think about. I'm excited that this video format seems to be working for a lot of people. I've gotten way more feedback than I expected. And, this is a time when a lot of people are struggling with a tremendous amount of anxiety, and, especially it's going to bring up issues that maybe have not been that bad before, but are getting really bad. So anyway, I'm glad that my struggles can bear the fruit of helping you in some way. So anyway, you can contact me if there's other questions you have or things you'd like me to talk about. I'd be happy to do that.